Well, this week at WBZ, we are marking 250 years since the start of the American Revolution. And this morning, Courtney Cole is taking us to Concord.
Yeah, that's right. We're learning more about the war's hidden figures there, and that includes African Americans and indigenous people who made a major impact in the fight for our independence.
When you Google the American Revolution, you'll see images of soldiers like this. But what if I told you some of the patriots also looked like this?
I think it's super important for people to understand that at the time of the American Revolution, the multiracial society of Black, indigenous, mixed race people were all here. So it was only natural when the revolution broke out that they all participated.
Meet Joe Palumbo, a Concordian with a passion for history. Where does your passion come from?
I grew up here, and when you grow up in a little town like this, they just pound the history into your head. But unfortunately, no one taught me any of these stories. No one taught me we had enslaved men and women living in Concord, fighting in the American Revolution, and building this country.
Palumbo's official title is historical interpreter. He tells me Black and indigenous men and women, both free and enslaved, participated in every single incident of the American Revolution.
By the end of the war, we know that on the Patriot side, over 5,000 men of color served. And many served on the British side as well, because people were just figuring out what would be a best way to gain freedom and independence for themselves.
Of those more than 5,000 men of color, today we're going to introduce you to Caesar Robbins. Enslaved at birth in nearby Chelmsford, Massachusetts, Palumbo says Robbins served on April 19, 1775.
We know for sure he later enlisted and fought in Dorchester Heights in Boston, fought in Fort Ticonderoga, and then after the war he comes back to Concord as a free man.
When he comes back to Concord, he lives on the edge of town, and later, this home that we're going to take you into is built for Robbins and his descendants.
After you.
Thank you. Talk about history coming to life. We get to come and take a look inside.
That's right. That's how you know history's happening. I want to show you this room over here. It was built in 1823, and you're actually standing on the original floorboards of the home. It was about a mile from here out in the woods in an area called the Great Field, because free Black Concordians were certainly not welcome to live in the center of towns. But the next side's the really interesting side.
Ooh, we've got a family tree here.
Yeah, so it just shows you how difficult it is to reconstruct the history of these various families.
It's on this side of the house that we learn about Caesar's daughter Susan, her husband Jack Garrison, and their daughter Ellen Garrison, who went on to become an anti-slavery activist.
I can only imagine 10 years from now what stories we'll be talking about that we don't know now.
I know, as long as we have those people who keep digging, who want to know more, which is why it's so important that our viewers get to see this, because then it also maybe spurs someone who's watching to do some more digging.
That's right. It's always there if you want to do the work.
The next part of our journey takes us to the Old North Bridge, where the shot heard round the world was fired on April 19th, 1775. This same bridge also has ties back to Caesar Robbins.
That bridge got repaired after the American Revolution. When it was repaired, one of the men who worked on it that time was Caesar Robbins. And this time he was paid because he was a free man. So it shows you sort of the arc. That bridge symbolizes freedom.
The hands of enslaved men helped build the bridge we celebrate freedom on.
What is it like when you get to tell people this and they're hearing this part of history for the first time?
I think the most common reaction I get is, why didn't anyone tell me? I didn't know. I wish I had known that. And then they go quickly to, who else can I tell? Who else should know about this?
All right, so don't let the learning stop here. You can go on a tour of the Robbins house in Concord and learn more about Caesar Robbins and his family for yourself. It's open every day now until October 31st. There's also a Patriots of Color tour as well, offered every Saturday at 1:30 in the afternoon. Courtney Cole, WBZ News.